When it comes to LeBron's entire career, there's a very common through line of excuse making and quote-unquote injuries at very convenient times.
I let the emotions get the best of me and pretty much played the last 3 games with a broken hand, so that's what it is.
Ow! Oh, my arm! It's broken!
Now, when talking about convenient LeBron injuries, possibly the most embarrassing one is his latest ankle injury. As when it comes to his ankle, it's just kind of confusing to follow if it's actually hurt or not. And to refresh your guys' memory, last year LeBron James also had problems with his ankle. But according to LeBron James himself, he went to LeBron James of Foot Doctors and said he was 100% ready for the postseason. That is LeBron James in his own words, leading up to the playoffs. But conveniently, after losing versus Denver, being swept, what did LeBron James do? Pull out that old excuse, the injury card. When it comes to this quote-unquote injured ankle, there's a lot of smoke around it that I don't really buy. And according to LeBron James himself, it was apparently so severe, he might require surgery. But LeBron on record told the media, if he ever got surgery, you wouldn't know about it. This constant smokescreen nonsense and BS, it's very tiring with LeBron James. As even at age 39 still, he's pulling these stunts and using lame excuses. And fast forward in the current day LeBron this year, leading up to the All-Star game, sat out versus Utah and load managed. Okay, fine. But worse than that, in the actual All-Star game, the second half, he load managed even then. After a first half where he jacked up 10 shots and numerous dunks and high-flying slams. Load managing during this season, that's one thing. But at the All-Star game is simply inconceivable. And even crazier than that, after basically having a week off LeBron James, the game after the All-Star break, playing the Warriors on TNT, primetime his rival Steph Curry, decided not to play this game. If you want to know why the league's losing popularity, losing viewers, look at LeBron James and the stunt he pulled after the All-Star break. Players constantly sitting out, ducking big games, that is the problem with the NBA and its product in 2024. And this game for the Lakers, of course playing your rivals, but also a big-time battle in terms of seeding, as Golden State is the 10th seed and LA is the 9th seed, barely holding on to that. And here's the crazy thing. It's already been reported before the Warriors game, LeBron versus the Spurs, the very next night, he was going to play. That game versus the Spurs, of course, was a back-to-back.
You sit on a throne of lies.
If this ankle injury is so severe, just so deadly, why are you sitting out one game and playing the night after? Here's why he's doing that. The San Antonio Spurs are complete garbage. Golden State is at least semi-competitive, a decent team. But San Antonio, easy win, easy stats, another easy night at the office for LeBron and Lakers. And one thing I found pretty fascinating, in the TNT pregame, they had Chris Haynes in Golden State talking about LeBron's injury, and numerous times this guy slipped up trying to cover for LeBron James and the Lakers.
Well, for tonight, star power a little bit less in this game. LeBron James will not play tonight against the Warriors. He is still managing that left ankle sprain. Well, it's not a sprain. They call it an injury right now. The way it's been described to me is that it's just something he's been dealing with all season long. They say it's more to do with wear and tear and age.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
Like I said earlier, if this injury is just so severe, so devastating, why can LeBron James, the game after Golden State, the night after, play versus the Spurs? But in Golden State on primetime, I can't play that game. This right here is very Joel Embiid-esque. Ducking these semi-good teams, not to play teams like the Spurs and the bottom feeders of the Western Conference. And look, I do understand that LeBron James is 39, pushing 40. But look, don't lie to the fans and the people. Contrary to what you believe, we're not as dumb as you think. And this injury, look, I doubt LeBron is hurt. He's most likely resting, but doesn't want to say it. Just come out and say it, be honest, Don't try to dupe the fans, say you're injured, banged up. Just be honest and say you're sitting out games because you're old. Just do it. I mean, Adam Silver already, with the 65 game rule, he made exceptions for players over the age of 35. And quite honestly, this rule should be dubbed the LeBron James rule, as in the past 5 years, this guy's allergic to playing back-to-backs.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
And when it comes to the whole longevity argument, guys at age 38, 39, even 40, I think LeBron's overall longevity is a tad bit inflated and downright overrated. As looking at guys in the past who are great at that age, they weren't sitting out back-to-backs and playing 50 games routinely at that age. I mean, look at Michael Jordan. His 2 years in Washington played 103 games with 1 day of rest or fewer. LeBron the past 2 years has played 65 such games. Want to look at back-to-backs? Jordan in Washington played 34. LeBron has played 13 the past 2 seasons. If you want to talk longevity, durability, I think playing games being available has to be a factor in that conversation. As when it comes to Jordan, even at age 40 in 03, played all 82 games. That is one record LeBron James will never touch, as even in his prime, not once did he play all 82 games until 2018. And staying on Wizards MJ for 1 second, in 2002, after a devastating knee injury should have ended his career, still came back the final 10 games and suited up and ruined was a pretty good season. As looking at his pre-injury stats versus post-injury stats, I mean, it's night and day. Jordan pre-injury, 25 points per game, top 10 in scoring, a legit all-star player. After the injury, scoring cut in half, shooting abysmal, and it was obviously Jordan was playing hurt and playing with a bad knee. And when looking at Jordan's Wizards teammates, these guys were so impressed MJ would play through pain. They're on record saying Jordan before games would have a needle stuck in his knee that would pull black tar goo substance out, and the next day he would go play. And apparently Jordan's knee was so, I would say, swollen, it looked like a softball was attached to his kneecap. That is one of the major differences between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Jordan, despite having nothing to prove, still came back, tanked his numbers, because playing games actually meant something. And looking back at Jordan at age 40, of course, played all 82 games, and a staggering 37.0 minutes per game. In the last 7 years total, there have been 0 NBA players, I repeat, 0 NBA players to play that many minutes and play 82 games in a single season. And even looking at Kareem, his sustained longevity and durability is highly underrated. As from age 31 to 41, he played a total of 867 games for a possible 902. Percentage-wise, Kareem played 96% of the games during that decade, and the total amount of games he missed was only 35. LeBron the past 2 years combined has missed 35. I mean, just take that in for a second when debating longevity, guys being healthy and durable. Kareem for a decade, pushing 40, missed 35 games. That's why when you see guys like Shannon Sharpe, Nick Wright, talk about longevity, these stats, LeBron at 39, they never take into account playing games and being available. And like I've said numerous times in other videos, the NBA schedule nowadays is much, much softer. And still LeBron James can't play 80 games, barely 70, and most times around 60. If Kareem back in the day at age 35, you just told him from that point on, you're going to sit out 30 games every single season. This guy, when he approached 40, would have been much, much better, and quite possibly could have played in his early or even mid-40s. But unfortunately for him, unfortunately for the players back then, their goal every single year was to play as many games as possible, as Kareem at age 40 was playing 80 games. When it comes to the new era of NBA players, NBA superstars, sitting out games, resting back-to-backs, it is commonplace. But compared to past eras, other great players of yesteryear, those guys never did that. And that's why looking back on their stats, their numbers, at age 35, even 40. You gotta add that context, which is very, very important. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.